Hey guys, what's going on? So I hit level 80 the other day and I wanted to go ahead and get a video together on how to keep up as a free-to-play person when you hit level 80 and make sure your roster is still moving forward and you're not falling into a deficit and stuff. So essentially for this video, basically we're going to look at gold and at training mats. When it comes to your roster and gearing your roster, if you are towards the end game and you are trying to take up and create the strongest teams that you can, I would advocate as a free-to-play person or for free-to-play people just to take them up to gear tier 12, put all the purple pieces on, and don't waste any mini uniques or any orange gear. I think mini uniques, I mean, if you want to put orange gear at gear 12, I don't think that's a bad thing just because you might have an abundance of orange gear, but definitely save the mini unique. It is important to have those for later on, and there will be some mini uniques that you will have an abundance on, so you can kind of skip that for certain, maybe like Palladium or whatever. But for the most part, I would just advocate most people that are free to play or light spenders stop at gear tier 12, and then whatever level you decide to do. If you want to do level 70, level 75, level 80, whatever is fine. I personally do level 80. I know it's not probably the best thing to do, but that's where I like to stop. And if I decide to take that character up, at least they're at level 80 already. So, level 80. Basically, it costs a lot of gold and a lot of training mats, and that's why I kind of want to go over this part more than gear. But we get a new character every 10.5 days. So it's a level character from 1 to 80. It costs 7,777,000 gold. So that requires you to spend about 740,715 gold per day, as you can see on this slide. Essentially, even if you're not taking a character up to level 80, you should be spending this amount just because that way you're being efficient with how you're leveling up characters. If you want to stop at level 65, make sure you're still spending that 740. But that might be a problem when it comes to training mats. I actually have more of a deficit of gold than I do training mats, but I've also been playing for a long time. But with the introduction of level 80, it does not help training mats anymore, and we'll see that in the future. So that's basically it for gold. That's what you need to know, and the 740,715 is going to be our goal to hit when it comes to our training mats, and we're going to try and get the right amount of training mats in 10.5 days. And basically you can't do it, and it's a small deficit, but honestly this 10.5 number is closer to 11 than it is 10, but I just did 10.5 because I want to show kind of the worst case scenario when it comes to getting training mats efficiently. So the next slide, I'm just going to do an introduction of training mats. Most people know them and how much they're worth, but the green ones are worth it costs 315 gold to use one of these green ones. It costs 1250 to use one blue one, 5,000 gold to use one purple one, and 10,000 gold to use an orange one. So you can get the green and blue ones from node farms. The purple ones you can get from Real-Time Arena and Training Day, and then the gold ones you can get from Training Day and the training orbs. I did not calculate those training mat orbs in my numbers because it's kind of finicky on how often you get them, just because it does require how many milestone orbs you get and all that stuff. So I'm not going to even touch that just because that is just a weird number to calculate, and it's a bit confusing. But essentially we're going to be looking at these purple ones and the gold ones, and we're going to look at the ones that you definitely can get each day. So yeah, again, that's just an introduction. Most people know that, but I just wanted to remind people with that. So like I said in that first slide, our goal is to hit 740,715 per day. And so essentially what you get, if you use your 50 power core refreshes and use all your free energy from the nodes, you will get 140 green training mats and 300 blue training mats per day. Now, how I got this average was I basically I would assume if you're endgame and hitting level 80, you're pretty much farming from Hero 7, Villain 7, maybe Nexus 7 and 8. You might be in Cosmic and Mystic, but probably more in Doom more. And basically, the Hero 7, Villain 7, Nexus 7, Mystic 3, one node, if you do all the energy that you can, will get you 10 green mats. Cosmic 3 has no green mats that you can farm from it. It's only blue, which is kind of the worst place to farm training mats. Doomore, however, has 30 of the green mats, and that's the best place to farm them. So the 300 blue per day, basically Hero 7, Villain 7, Nexus 7 and 8, Cosmic 3, Mystic 3, and Doomore, all of those nodes have 30 blue training mats if you do 100 energy. So again, I'm going to assume that you get 1,000 energy per day because that's the math behind it. So that's why you get 140 per day and 300 per day. So this doesn't matter as long as you're farming Hero 7, Villain 7, Nexus 7, and 8. Basically, the kind of end tier of those campaigns, you should be getting this much. Now, the purple, the 20 per day, this is from basically taking the worst case scenario of training day. Training day is on Tuesdays and on Fridays. So let's say characters released on Wednesday. This is how you just calculate it. And then you go basically 10 days from that point. You will get to only doing it 4 times versus if it's a character's released on a Tuesday, then you would get through training day 5 times. So this is just basically the worst case scenario. And this is also taking into account that you're going to be completing the battle pass or completing up to level 57 in the battle pass, which will net. And this is not, paying for the battle pass either. This is just the just beating the free-to-play part of it. So you will get 80 of these purple training mats from the battle pass. You will get 6 per day from the daily objectives, and that's just from knockouts. And then you will get 15 weekly from the battle pass, and that's mostly knockouts, and then a couple use different abilities and stuff. And so again, that'll net you about 20 per day, and then you will get about 21 per day just from the training day challenge. And so this is how it breaks down when you convert it to gold. So essentially you will be under and have a deficit of 11,615. I will say the closer that the character release schedule gets to 11 days versus 10, it's not a deficit anymore if you are completing all this stuff and doing what you can, just basically playing every day and just completing the battle pass, and you have the final tier of training day complete. So at 10.5 days, we're at a deficit, but right now we're honestly at 10.78. That's what I calculate per character release. And so we're no longer at a deficit, but it's still very close. And what the community needs is that gap to grow, because I think to have gold or training mats be your chokehold in your roster, it should either be one or the other. I would prefer it to be gold over training mats, because I just prefer that, because we do get a lot of gold orbs, but I know a lot of people are struggling with training mats as well. So again, at 10.5 days, we're at a deficit. And how I calculate the character release schedule is I'm a global launch player, so I take all the characters that are in game now, all the characters that were initially released, take the difference from that, divide it by how many days the game's been playing, and that's how you get your number. And again, we're at like 10.78, but for this slideshow I use 10.5 just to show the deficit and how close it is. All right, so finally, what you can do to just make sure you're getting enough training mats is make sure you beat training day tier 14. Use up all the free energy you can, clear the battle pass to level 57, and do your daily knockouts. Just do your daily knockouts, and you should hopefully knock out the weekly knockout, which gets you 9 of those purple training mats, and then make sure you refresh 50 power cores for campaign energy. That is probably the best way to get training mats and kind of make sure you're no longer having a deficit with training mats. When it comes to gold, basically just do as much as you can to get gold so you can hit that 740,000 spending per day. Now, I will say it is a little weird with the Emma Frost event going on, so a lot of people are going through their gold, way more than that. But essentially, when it comes to gold spending, if you hit, spend that 740, and then make sure you also get to milestone 10. If you want to get a little bit deeper, then go for that. But if you're going for Emma Frost, and obviously keep going until you can't get her anymore. But yeah, and I would say honestly, avoid this. I don't think it's worth spending, the extra 400,000 gold for it, but if you really do need them, then go for it, I guess. But I think it's better. I think Emma Frost character shard is more important than 3 of these. But like I said, you are at a deficit, but doing this every day will not make a difference. With next month's release, if it's just Jubilee and Bishop, that number will actually increase the gap between new characters, and so the deficit won't be as strong. But just again, make sure you have training day tier 14 complete. You're doing your battle pass essentially as much as you can, and unlocking in those dailies, unlocking those purple training mats. You're gonna get training orbs too, which will help, and just use your energy as much as you can. And you should be fine when it comes to training mats. That's what the math behind it says. It might be a little different, but yeah, so that's going to do it for this video. Let me know where you think I'm wrong. Let me know where you think I'm right. Let me know if you're struggling with training mats. Let me know if you're struggling with gold. Yeah, I just want to know what you guys are going through. I'm no longer considering myself free to play, but I hope that I can still help free to play people the best that I can, and kind of just give you numbers and facts of what you need to be doing to help increase your roster and help your roster grow. But like I said, that's going to do it for this video. On this channel, I do guides, I do streams, I do orb openings, I do all sorts of Marvel Strike Force stuff. So make sure you're subscribed, hit that like button. Thank you guys for watching, and I hope you have a great day.